Hi, I'm Anton Leiting and I'm the resident director for The Sound of Music, and you're watching Imagine TV.
A needle pulling thread, a needle pulling thread, a note to follow, so.
It's really about a dysfunctional family that find each other again. You know, the mom has died and the father is left to look after these, 7 children, and he has, is a military man who's trained as a captain, so he has no idea how to bring up this family. And while he loves them, it's taken the loss of his wife and the memory of her, alienates them from the children, because they remind him of his wife who he lost. So he starts to not lose interest, but he stays away from the children, from that home environment. And Maria comes and again finds the love, finds the family bonding that they're so desperately looking for. So I love the fact that it's a story about human nature and how a family find each other again and discover each other. And then of course everybody also thinks that because the songs are so beautiful and it's such a glorious musical that it's all about happy songs and glorious songs, but we forget the second act is about the Nazi occupation of Austria, and and the devastation of that, and the fact that they have to leave their homeland and leave this beautiful place that they've all grown up with, this gorgeous mountain. So there's some difficult moments in the piece, and I think it's real storytelling, it's gripping, it's human emotion, and I think that's what's kept it, along with these glorious songs and the fact that it's a beautiful musical to look at as well. It's a sophisticated musical to look at. I think that's what's kept it fresh and in the hearts of people. Add to this glorious love story, because essentially that was the captain finding Maria, and the Maria, in this dilemma between being a nun and staying with the church, and finding this man who she has feelings for, who she loves, and her dilemma is, stay with the church or, fall in love with this man. And that's where the role of the mother abbess is, this mothering, woman that comes into her life and guides her and tells her to make the right decisions. That's another layer on all the things that I was talking about. So yes, it is very much about human beings making the right decisions and facing decisions that perhaps might be wrong, but changing them to somebody coming along and saying, but there's nothing wrong with feeling the way you're feeling, and that sort of thing. So there are lots of layers of storytelling, and add in all of the lovely music and the songs that make it seem like this frothy, gorgeous musical, but it is really, really about lovely storytelling at the same time. Well, I think it's important when you have your potential lead characters that you match them together. You get them to perform opposite each other, you get them to sing with each other, and you see straight away those actors that have a chemistry together. And it's also a process from the beginning of rehearsals through to the end of rehearsals, where you sort of forge relationships with people around you, with cast members, and a lot of that chemistry between the captain and Maria is created through the children, through the bond that they have by working with the children that are around them. And it is really quite a special thing to see this family come together onto an opening night performance, and to see how they've bonded, especially because each new city we go to, we have new families of children. So, each time for us as a creative team, it's creating that bond between the new kids in each new city and our lead characters of Maria and the captain.
You said one word for every note.
Yes, Brigitte, I did.
But when you sing anything, you're using up 3 notes on 1 word.
Yes, that's right. Well, sometimes we just do that. Now all together and...
The idea is to emphasize professionalism amongst the children. The standard of the show has to be internationally, recognized. So the children need to up their game. It's not just a school play or an amateur production. It's got to be world class. So, but at the same time, you want the children to enjoy it, and they need to be children on that stage. They need to exude the characteristics of children. So you can't, you don't want to train them into little machines, because whilst there needs to be slick and execute their moves and their singing as precisely as possible, they still need to be children, because it's those characteristics that win the hearts of the audiences. And at the end of the day, I think that is the secret of this production, is that the children are allowed to be themselves and have their own characteristics as children, but taking on these roles of Gretel and Kurt and Frederick. And from the casts we've worked with through all the countries we've been in, they just love the process, because they get to be themselves and they get to be children, and they're passionate about it and they love being on stage. And at the end of the day, they don't fear performing for 2,000 people every day, because they're having such fun up there. Do Re Mi is very much, it's the first time we see the children. They march down the steps and their father blows the whistles, get them into line, and it's all very rigid and military-like. And Maria's kind of aghast at this, and she's sort of like, this is insane. This is not how you bring up children. This is not the relationship a father should have. This is not, children shouldn't be marching for fun. And so the captain leaves the room, and eventually she kind of breaks up this tense military-like atmosphere by teaching them the basics of music. And music can be quite a complicated thing, so she breaks it down for their level and teaches them this gorgeous song that everybody knows. And that's what's so wonderful about this show, is that new generations of children who've never seen The Sound of Music, they've never seen the production, they've never seen the movie, they know the songs. It's just one of those things that seems to be in the DNA of children, the Do Re Mi. Climb Every Mountain is, again, we see, as I said to you, the mothering Mother Abbess who looks after Maria, who's clearly not a traditional kind of nun, and guides her in the way of the world and says, you know where your heart lies, follow your heart, follow your dreams, climb every mountain, and on the other side is perhaps what you're longing for. Edelweiss, and again, the Nazi-occupied Austria, and the captain is basically a salute, a farewell to his homeland in the form of this national flower of Austria, which is the Edelweiss. So it's a kind of quite a poignant goodbye to his own country after having been forced to flee because of the Nazi occupation, and to take his children and family to safety somewhere else, to Switzerland. So I'd like to shout out to Singapore and say, come and watch The Sound of Music. We're on at the Grand Theatre in Singapore at the Marina Bay Sands until the 10th of August. Sound of Music, the ultimate family show. We hope to see you here.